This Circuit of the Americas DFS and Underdog Picks edition of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Cut. Cut is a peer-to-peer social betting platform that's U.S.-based and available in 40 states. Head to cut.com, that's Kutt.com, and use promo code SGPN for a 10% deposit bonus. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Play their fantasy pick'em for a chance to win 100x in NBA, NHL, college basketball, NASCAR, F1, and more. Sign up today using promo code RACESGPN to get a 100% deposit match. We're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com. Use code SGPN to get 50% off of your first month and start making smarter bets today.
Drivers, start your engine!
Strap in and pull those belts up tight as the Sports Gambling Podcast Network presents the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
I'll wreck my mom to win a championship. I'll wreck your mom to win a championship.
With all the news and the best bets for your NASCAR weekend.
It refrains me from not beating the out of you right now because you ask me stupid questions. But since I'm on probation, I suppose that's improper to say as well. If you could talk about racing things, we could talk about racing things.
Now, here are your hosts, Rod Villagomez and Cody Zeeb.
Closing out the week strong, it is the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. He's Cody Zeeb. I'm Rod Villagomez. Cody, we are starting this show in a weird position, as in we've already seen both qualifying for the trucks and Xfinity. So as we do this DFS episode, we kind of already know what we're up against in these contests. And, I'm telling you, there's some surprises, and these people in the chat are about to start making us try to eat our words.
Here we are, Rod. Friday evening. My Huskers are currently getting their asses handed to them, so that's all fun and exciting. We do have some starting lineups. Hey, SVG is already. Look, you guys, you want me to stop talking about him, or so you say, but you keep bringing him up in the first comment on the thing. Preston checking in. I could save you guys 45 minutes. SVG in all 6 slots. Money if you want to donate to DK. So SVG, all 6 slots. Truck race, put him in. Not even racing, put him in there. Xfinity Cup. Underdog,
Make sure you put him in
SVG
F1.
Better than 0.5. How many laps is in this race? Like 72. So SVG to lead 72 laps. Higher than. All right. Let's have a good day. See you later. But Rod, if you go back and listen, by the way, he apparently it's been a day, but apparently he was fast in Xfinity Series practice, which, if you recall what I said on the show, he was going to be fast in practice. He's going to be fast in qualifying. You're going to get even more opportunities to fade him, and then he's probably going to get punted out of the way and suck in the races. So that's where we're going.
Well, and look, Cody, he wasn't
Stand by
fast.
everything I've said.
He wasn't just fast, he was the fastest in practice. And he's now starting on the outside pole to Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson? Yeah, Kyle Larson. Why am I thinking? I have SVG on
you guys all play him in DFS, please, and thank you. I will not be playing him in DFS. I will be taking a lot of head-to-heads against him and digging out of this first half unders hole that I'm in from the weekend.
This is why I don't do anything with March
It's been a rough tournament for first half unders, Rod, but the underdogs are coming through for us, so it's okay. It's balanced out, but my goodness.
Yeah, I'm not a basketball guy at all. So this March Madness stuff, you guys can have it. March Madness is to me what SVG is to you. I'm leaving it alone. You guys can go have your fun with it. I'm just going to sit here and, all that. Preston, one more time. He says, we have a saying on dirt. Hot laps pay $0. I think it translates to NASCAR wins as well. So
bingo.
Love it.
Listen, to a degree, it matters what you do out there by yourself speed wise, but We'll see when it comes to the race. It's gonna be
Seen a
a
lot
different
of cars. We've seen a lot of great cars find their way to the back of the pack, especially after turn one, and not win this race. So that's all we're saying. And we'll leave it alone at that. I think we're done with him. We're gonna not talk about him.
He's not being offered on Underdog, so you're saved from the rest of the day from hearing about him.
Indeed. So anyways, what we're gonna try to do this time around was give you picks from all three series for our DFS and Underdog. But unfortunately, because today was qualifying, I got to the dock this morning and everything was available, and then realized, after qualifying, it all gets taken down. So we don't have anything. I mean, there is DK pricing, there is DFS pricing,
and we know starting spots too, which obviously can play a factor into
exactly. That's huge too. We already know the starting spots for these, so it makes it a little bit better. But yeah, for Underdog, I have some, and I'm going to talk through what I found this morning, and maybe hopefully the higher than or lower thans are about the same, and then I'll give you those, and then Cody will give you 3 cup because that's what he could find. So we'll go with that.
I was late today, so that's what we're going with.
That's right. Listen, we are allowed to have lives. We don't necessarily have to stick to everything. We can have lives in this world. Cody, don't let
Hey, we can go with the flow. We can adjust as we go. You got in the Xfinity and truck guys. I didn't make it, so I'll give you 3 cup guys, and we got everything covered, and it works out.
All of it covered. So, all right. Well, then I think we should start laying them out. No need to dilly-dally on this one. So, yeah, we're ready. Let's do this. Well, let's do this first. Let's tell you about Cut. Cut's a peer-to-peer social betting platform that's U.S.-based and available in 40 states. Cut is where all of your SVG bets should go this weekend because I think we'll snatch them all up. So go put up we don't have to do it. You guys can put these up too. You guys can suggest these bets. So if we see them up there, then we will gladly take up some SVG bets. It's a peer-to-peer social betting platform, Cut is. That is new and a better way to bet. You can bet directly against your friends or us on anything like sports, politics, pop culture, and other events, so long as it's got a verifiable outcome. Plus, it's tons of fun, and it's got social features that give it the feel of a betting social network. Cut offers the lowest VIG and fully customizable odds, so you can create your own bets. Cut handles the payment side of things, too, so you never have to chase anyone down for money ever again. There's social features like group chats, betting leaderboards, head-to-head history, user profiles, fan groups, and so much more, like rewards. Get cash back every single time you bet against your friends or other users. So make sure you're filling up Cut this weekend. There's tons of ways to get in on it. Get there. We'll find you. We'll take some money from you. Download Cut today in the App Store or over at cut.com. That's KUTT, and use promo code SGPN for a 10% deposit bonus. We're about to give you plenty of our favorite Underdog fantasy plays for this race, and we are so excited to do so each and every week because Underdog is a fantastic place and the easiest place to play fantasy sports like NASCAR, like F1. They've got F1 up there right now for the Australian Grand Prix. You can pick better than or worse than their finishing positions that you would think they're going to do. You stack up the multiplying, watch your earning potential just shoot through the roof. And then, look, I know that the NASCAR and racing doesn't necessarily have the spicy plays, but you can go different sports. You can go basketball. You can go whatever's happening right now. Look for those spicy chilies. Those are going to make your multipliers that much better. And you can even win up to 100x on your entry if you find one of those spicy chili peppers. It's so much fun. And all you got to do right now is sign up today with promo code RACESGPN. You're going to get your first deposit double up to $100. Not only will you deposit your own money, but Underdog's going to kick in a match up to $100, as well as an instant pick'em special that you can get as well. So visit underdogfantasy.com or find them in the App Store. And don't forget to use our promo code RACESGPN to get your first deposit double up to $100, as well as that instant pick'em special. Must be 18 or older and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Rod, not part of the ad read, but I did notice as I was looking at my Underdog here, a lot of times these deposit bonuses are for, new customers, new signups and stuff, but they're offering me a 25% deposit match up to $2,000 if I want to reload my account. So if you want to get in on some refilling of your Underdog account, you may want to check again. This is not part of the ad read, but that's what I'm seeing right now on my account. So I don't know if I'm just special. I doubt that. So maybe check and refill your underdog account and start getting in those best balls and all that other good stuff.
Ooh, Cody getting the high roller treatment. They're asking him in the champagne room. They're like, we're moving the velvet rope and saying, Cody, come on, buddy. You know you want it.
They saw how many best ball entries I had last year.
They're like, champagne room for this guy.
This guy's going to be spending his money, so we'll take it.
You're like, my wife's been watching the show Las Vegas again, that win from way back in the 2000s. And they have that one person that is dedicated to taking care of what they call the whales, obviously the big high rollers. And that's what they are for you, Cody. They're offering you a high roller treatment. Lynn checking in saying, ooh, thanks for the cut reminder. Won last week and need to do stuff this week. See, it's that simple. We can win money, not on just the books. Preston saying, this is the we get paid for our work. BS again. Yeah, I know. Sorry, buddy.
I was just looking at some of my cut stuff that I have. Not looking so good on my Nebraska Husker money line right now, but I do have that SVG under 1.5 wins for the Xfinity Series. So hopefully he doesn't get one of those wins and make me start sweating it already this weekend, Rod.
Well, again, we're off of him. We don't think that's going to happen, so we're good with that. So, all right. Again, we're going to take a little bit of a different format this time. Normally on the DFS, we give you a high price driver, a low price driver, and a lower price driver. High, mid, low. Yeah. But this time I think it's more fun. I think if we introduce somebody from each of the series to you, that way you have an opportunity to sort of build on some other ones that you haven't, because we want to expand your horizons and kind of get you branched out into this wonderful world that is NASCAR DFS. So we each picked, I've picked one from each. Cody.
Right, hey, look, I have picked one from each as well, Rod. I just put this one in here because it needs to be mentioned, because we have the starting lineup and we have the appropriate information. So not my pick, but the obligatory, you need to play this guy because everyone else will be, and he's probably going to pay off for you. Ben Rhodes did not qualify. He had a shock issue. He's starting in 34th place, $9,500, Rod, more than worth it. We talked about him on the betting episode. He's one of the few former road course winners in this field, in what is potentially somewhat of a weak. It's a weaker field when you look at traditional road course experience, right? And he's starting 34th in a 35-car field, 9,500. You got to play him. He's got to be in there. Moffitt is the only one Thad Moffitt's the only one starting behind him. He also didn't qualify with some type of issue, but Rhodes has got to be played. It's the chalk pick. Everyone's going to be playing him. If you don't play him, you're likely going to get burned. So I would make sure that you're in on Ben Rhodes. So I wanted to mention that before I got into my true pick, Rod, which is Christian Eckes, starting in 10th place, $10,000. Look, the way we need to approach DFS this week, much different than last week at Bristol, right? In the Cup Series race, we had 5 laps. We got all these laps in the truck race. You need fastest laps. You need laps led. Most important thing out there. Well, this week, Rod, we have many less laps, right? We're not looking at that many laps in any of these 3 races, being that it's a 4-mile course and we're only going 225, 250 miles, right? So laps led, while still important, and you want them, the much less important thing. You've got to get the finishing position and you got to get the place differential. Christian Eckes, $10,000. He is starting in 10th place. I think that he is a really good guy. You kind of look at the top of the board, right? You got Chastain in 5th. You got Heim. Where's Heim starting? 2nd. Yes. You've got Majeski starting in 9th. And then Eckes is right there starting in 10th. I think those other guys are going to be fairly popular. I think Eckes is a nice play that you can use that's a little bit different. He's been good here. One of my outright picks to win this race. I think that he can definitely do that. He was fast last season, ended up having a transmission problem that cost him. But you go back to Mid-Ohio, the other road course race last year, had 3rd place there. He was 6th here in 2022, 5th at Mid-Ohio in 22. And again, he's riding that momentum. That team is on fire right now. He won last week. He's been looking good. The McAnally trucks have been looking good as well. Again, it's much the same argument that I had on the betting show, but now starting in 10th place, he's back a little bit, right? And so I think some people are going to be like, oh, I got to get Chastain up here. Oh, I got to get Majeski. Oh, I got to get Heim. Eckes is kind of lurking a little bit there. They're not good. They're going to overlook him a little bit. Offers you some place differential, starting in 10th. So if he can work his way up into the top 5 or into the win, he also can get you a good solid finishing position. Got the ability to lead laps again. Not important, but less important to worry about nailing the lap leader in this type of race. More about finishing position, more about place differential. Eckes offers you a little bit of both. So I like him at $10,000 for the truck race.
Yeah, that's a good one too. And I think for me, I was looking at the top of the chart, and I thought, well, I mean, since this is a new format, I think I'll give who I think is going to be a really good value. And of course, like I said, that this is from this morning. Like I got this done probably about 11:30 or so as I was getting all my stuff together. And so this morning when I was looking and doing my research, I found Tyler Ankrum at $8,600. And he's still actually priced at $8,600. Thankfully, they're not moving around the pricing on this one. So
it's nice they don't move around the DFS pricing. That'll
tell me about it. Woof, that would be something. But for Tyler Ankrum, I mean, we talked a little bit about him on the betting episode, right? Especially this season so far has been fantastic for Tyler Ankrum, right? 11th place at Daytona, it's okay, but 7th place in Atlanta, 2nd in Vegas, 5th at Bristol, and some good DFS days as well. He's averaging 22.4 points per race. Of course, last week was not all that great. He got you a 35th place finish, but that race was just atrocious anyway. So we're just going to count that one out. But 48 points, 45 points in the last couple of races before that, before the 16th. But what he does here on this track is actually encouraging, since, like I said, we talked about him, and I think he is one of my outrights. No, Heim is my outright. You had Ankrum as an outright.
I stole
but yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. So I got to talk about him today. But he did start on the pole here in 2021, finished 3rd, led 4 laps. That's a pretty decent DFS day. Did he get you the full maximum potential that he could? No, but he certainly didn't lose you too many points. And then in 2022, started 10th, finished 7th, good solid finishing position, good couple of spots that he moved up. And then last season, he started 12th and ended up finishing 4th. So fantastic day for him there for DFS. Oh, and guess what? Tomorrow night, he's rolling off from the 12th position. So again, we know that there's some place differential points to be had from Tyler Ankrum. We think he can win, or we think he can at the very least be a top 5 truck again this week. So if you're getting him for $8,600, where some of these other guys are up in the stratosphere for, guys like Chastain, we already talked about it. Chastain, not necessarily somebody that we're all have circled on this. In fact, Ross Chastain is starting. Why am I scrolling down to find where Ross Chastain is starting?
Because you're going the wrong direction. He's starting like 5th, isn't he?
For qualify. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong. That's why I'm scrolling down. Yeah, Ross Chastain starting 5th. But again, it's like we said, Ross Chastain at $11,000 for 5th place. There's a lot that could happen in that first turn that could get him collected and swallowed up. And I mean, there's a lot of restarts that could be had too. So I'm not necessarily wanting to pay $11,000 for a guy that could get wrecked out. Whereas I know that Tyler Ankrum, yeah, he's got the same possibility as every truck on there, but he's starting 12th, which means the madness of that first turn may end up missing him a little bit if he hangs back and then he can work his way up through the field. So I'm very confident Tyler Ankrum at $8,600 is a great value to start your DFS lineup for the trucks.
Yeah, I love it. Big on Ankrum this week. He's been one of the better drivers here, especially of the drivers that are in the field still. If you take out the drivers not in the field that have finished in front of him the last couple of races, it's not many of them. So he's definitely a Truck Series guy that I love this weekend, and I think he's going to be a great play.
And, like I said, too, the whole Ross Chastain thing, I think we kind of have to knock that out, too, because I know there's a lot of folks that are going to be on Ross Chastain, even though he is starting 5th. But we basically laid it out exactly like that. We were like, look, it's not as if we don't think Ross Chastain has the capability of doing this. All the probability is just not really there like you want to feel good about it, because starting 5th is not starting 1st, and if you want to get all up on Shane Van Gisbergen because he's starting 2nd in the Xfinity Series, then you got to downplay Ross Chastain for having to start 5th in this as a Cup Series regular. And not to mention Connor Zilisch is on the pole. So this guy's never even done this before, and he's on the pole. This ought to tell you everything you need to know.
Yeah, and I mean, Chastain's definitely potentially in play. He's a little more expensive. How much upside is there? I mean, he's capable of leading a ton of laps, right? But he starts 5th. How long would it take him to get up there? I don't know. I'm not playing him in the lineups that I've built. I'll probably end up with some of them as I continue to build tonight. But my core lineups that I'm using, I'm not playing Chastain. I think, first of all, he's going to be extremely popular, so I want to kind of get a little bit different. The upside, I think, is limited. I don't think he just drives to the front of this field and leads a ton of laps. He's starting in 5th, so he offers a little bit of place differential. And obviously, if he wins or finishes in the top 5, then his finishing position paying off for you. But I'd rather save $1,000, go down to a guy like Eckes, getting the 5 extra spots. You're saving $1,000. I feel like the upside is pretty similar, and he's going to be much less popular to make me difference. So, just not on Chastain for this, especially those niece trucks, man. I know he's done it before in them, but they can be questionable at times.
And let's face it, the kind of roster that you have to put together when you got a guy like Ross Chastain in there, not one that makes me feel very confident about the rest of the race as well. So, all right, we'll be back with some Xfinity drivers. But first, let me tell you about buying tickets for anything, whether it's a sporting event, whether it's a concert, whether it is your kid's softball game, whether it's Little League, I don't care what it is. If you're buying tickets for it, it is always a stressful ordeal, right? I mean, you go on these apps and you're looking at the seats and you're looking at the prices and you're thinking to yourself, oh my God, why am I paying all these fees? Why am I paying 3 times what the ticket actually costs in fees? What is going on? Well, if you're like that, stop being like that. You know how you can do that? Download Game Time. Game Time is going to take away all of those ridiculous fees. I mean, not all of them, but they're not going to charge you nearly as much as most of these other sites do for just buying tickets to enjoy an event. It should not have to be so damn stressful. So take out all that stress. Download Game Time right now. They got the Game Time guarantee. That means that your ticket's going to be on time. They're going to be authentic, and they're going to be exactly what you want. And they've got the lowest prices. Like I said, they got low fees. They've got an offer, too, that if you find a ticket that's actually cheaper than theirs, which guaranteed you probably won't. If you do, though, they're going to give you 110% of the difference of the price of that ticket. Plus, it's all made for your phone, which is super convenient because everybody's on their phone now. So everybody's going to use their phone to buy tickets. So you get the tickets right sent to your phone, and you get a picture of the seat that you are going to be sitting in. So many great things to tell you about Game Time. We could be here all damn day, but do yourself a favor. Just download the app, find out for yourself. Snag the tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code CFBX for $20 off of your first purchase. Terms apply again. Create an account, redeem code CFBX for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
What'd you say everybody's doing, Rod? Everybody's doing what these days?
I don't know, Cody. I think, okay. So full disclosure, I drive a ton for my job. I know you do too. And I know you tend to listen to podcasts and I do too, but I've taken to listening to more of the self-help type books lately. And in one of them, it's called the 5 a.m. Club. And first of all, I don't know how keen I am on,
Fuck that.
We'll see. But his whole thing is, being on our phones and being distracted and being all that stuff. So, but yet here we are advertising for stuff to put you back on your phone. So
Hey,
whatever.
It's convenient. Convenience is what we need. So I'm going to look at my phone and read you this next driver now and his statistics, Rod. I've made a pivot. Again, I just made my picks right before the show. But I was looking through this and I changed my mind. Alex LeBay, this is where I'm going. Not a guy we talk about a ton. He's going to be starting 26th in the Xfinity Series race tomorrow. Only $6,500, Rod. This guy is a little bit of a road course ringer himself, though. So starting 26th, again, at only $6,500, he offers you a cheap play that's a little bit different. Not a popular name that a lot of people know. If SVG was starting 26th at $6,500, Rod, I'd be playing him. I just want to toss that out there. I don't want anybody to think I don't like him and just maybe that he's overpriced because that's the problem. Anyways, Alex LeBay, 2,600 or not 26. Boy, 2,600 would be a hell of a deal. 6,500 starting in 26. That was the key part there. But Alex LeBay, actually a pretty good road course racer. You go back through the Xfinity Series last season, 11th place at Portland. In a lot of his starts, Rod, he's not starting every race, right? We're not seeing him every week. A lot of his starts are at the road courses specifically, and for good reason. 11th place finish at Portland, 15th at Charlotte Roval, 24th at Watkins Glen. Not great, but 24th isn't the end of the day at this price tag for where he's starting in 26th. 11th place at Indy to get 33rd at the Road America, 21st at Chicago, but we're not really going to count that one. 15th here at Circuit of the Americas last season. You go back and you look at his 2022, 6th place at the Roval in the fall, Rod. A really strong run by him that day. Had a 12th place finish at the Indy Road course. He was 10th at Portland, 15th at Road America. Like really, really good finishes by Alex LeBay. He was 36th in 22 here at Coda, but he only ran 41 laps. He actually started 5th that day, so showed a lot of speed and stuff early, but the car obviously didn't get him there. So Alex LeBay, a guy that I'm targeting this weekend, 6,500, starting in 26th position, and he really offers, how many times did I say 10th place, 15th place, 11th place in these road course starts he's had over the last couple of years. At this point, he's a veteran road course racer in the Xfinity Series to go along with all the other road racing he has in his past. So Alex LeBay, a guy that I'm really looking at for the Xfinity Series race tomorrow.
Yeah, and what's great about him, again, and a lot of these casual players that just sort of come in and pop in and do this every once in a while, see those names and they never really dig into them, right? Because they already just dismiss them like, well, this guy's probably not going to make much of a splash, so we'll just leave him off. And so that's where you can swoop in, especially in some of these smaller tournaments where, you know that these guys don't do their research and sort of take a guy like LeBay and they'll be like, oh, who's LeBay? Oh, this guy, we're going to whip. And then all of a sudden you're cashing in.
Yeah.
Good for you.
And you click on him and you're like, oh, he's in the 35 Joey Gase Motorsports car. And it's like, but on the road courses, again, your car has to get you to the end, and that can be a concern in a Gase car. But it's not these cars can do decent if we end up getting chaos like we've seen so many times on these road courses. But also people are going to click on him. He has no starts. There's no log. If you're just clicking on his DK here real quick. And so a lot of people are just going to pass up on him. That's why you need to jump on him.
Indeed. All right. I'm going to go with our favorite folk guy, Riley Herbst. So we're going to go with him at $8,000. I feel like now after qualifying, and like I said, I got him at 11 o'clock when I thought that it was going to be fantastic. But after qualifying, maybe this is even a better time to jump on him because he's 19th, right? This may be a good time to jump on Riley Herbst because I think we're going to get a pretty decent day out of him. On this track in particular, it's been hit or miss for him, but I will say he started 29th in 2021 and ran his way up to almost a top 15 finish, which is pretty good for $8,000. That seems like a pretty decent DFS day for him there in 2021. 2022, started 22nd, finished 26th, so kind of middling to nothing there. But in last season, he started in 7th place, got a 10th place finish, so still a decent day. He didn't get you, again, the max potential of points, but is good. Look, for Riley Herbst, too, most road courses for him, not really all that great, but boy, is he good at Road America. He finished 5th, 7th, and 7th at Road America in his last 3 races. So 3 top 10 finishes and a top 5 there for Riley Herbst. But what I'm seeing is a steady pattern of progression getting better, not just at this track, but obviously at Road America. I'm throwing out Portland because whatever reason he can't get around Portland. He started 12th, finished 32nd last season. And then the season before that started 14th, finished 35th. Poor guy in Portland is not good. Poor guy in Watkins Glen, not very good either last season. He started 10th, finished 35th. 2022 did have a 7th place finish, so yay. And then 2021, a 13th place finish. So again, it seems like a little bit of a risky, I would say probably a GPP play in this instance, just because there is that potential for him to maybe get caught up in something in the middle of the pack, because we've seen toward the back of the pack get kind of squirrely too. When everybody dive bombs into one, it sort of accordions. So if he can keep his fenders on, I think, this is a great spot for a 10 place differential points if he can get in the top 10 and have a nice solid day. Hell, if he's a top 5 car, that's even better for you too. So Riley Herbst, $8,000, great investment.
Yeah, he's a great price, and 19th, he's offering you some place differential and some upside there. Xfinity Series definitely going to be the hardest to make your builds this week. I mean, just quickly going through the top of this, you've got Kyle Larson, 11,000 at the top. He starts first. Allmendinger's next. He starts 5th. Then Gibbs, who oddly looks like Cole Custer in the picture they've got posted here. I love how the pictures sometimes just don't completely match up at all. They've got Cole Custer as the picture for Ty Gibbs. Look at the disrespect. I hope you guys all know. Absolutely disrespectful. No picture for SVG. They're obviously big haters over there at DraftKings, so make sure you send your letters to their departments. But he's the 4th highest price guy. He costs $10,200. He starts 2nd. There is some decisions to make up top. You can play 3 of these guys, but you're going to need a perfect race where they all finish 1, 2, 3, and it's going to be pushy on your lineups. So going to be some interesting builds in Xfinity Series specifically this week.
Yeah, and believe me, it's not going to be fun. You're going to be agonizing. But we always say don't build just one. So make a couple of them and, do what you got to do. I know that there's some single entry tournaments in there that people are in, like ours, that you got to make a decision to put just one in there. But,
Also, honorable mention to Sam Mayer, the 5th highest priced guy on here, $10,000. Everybody's going to be trying to squeeze in a mixture of these top 4, and nobody's going to play him. He's in my main lineup. So just tossing that out there.
Well, I mean, we talked about him on the betting show too, for sure. We definitely have high hopes for Sam Mayer, and he has high hope for himself. So we'll see if those two match up at the end of the race. We'll come back with a Cup Series DFS driver, but let me tell you about Hall of Fame Bets. Win bigger by betting smarter this NBA season with Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Research every NBA and soccer bet with historical stats and data. Enter any parlay idea into Hall of Fame Bets revolutionary parlay optimizer tool to get hit rates broken down by leg as well as an expected probability for the entire parlay. Sort all players by hit rate for any bet to learn which players are hot and which picks have value. Stop betting in the dark. Join over 30,000 users researching with Hall of Fame Bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com. Use code SGPN to get 50% off of your first month today. Start researching, start winning with Hall of Fame Bets. To the Cup Series we go. Cody, who is your driver for the Cup Series?
Rod, this might be shocking to everyone. No, it's not SVG. Don't worry. I'm not going to shock you that much. I don't need people having heart attacks. I am going with Tyrone Gibbs. $8,700. Are you fucking kidding me? Why is he so cheap, Rod? Likely going to end up being a popular play. Obviously, for the Cup Series, we do not have starting positions right now, so we don't know where these guys are going to be. But $8,700 for Ty Gibbs should not be this price. Should not be this low on the board. Look, man, we've seen it the last couple of weeks, right? He's figured it out. He's got the momentum. He's been looking good. And I fully expect for that to continue for him and to keep going. 9th, 3rd, 5th place finishes in the Cup Series the last 3 weeks. Go back to last season in this race here. 9th place finish. He was 4th at the Roval, 5th at Watkins Glen, 12th at Indy, 9th at Chicago even. Xfinity Series road course winner. We talked about that on the Xfinity Series show a couple days ago. He's done it time and time again. He's going to be out there in the Xfinity Series race on Saturday, getting that practice. Phil, by the way, on Full Tank with Phil, he talked about, I'm pretty sure it was Phil. I'm going to give Phil the credit. I'm pretty sure it was him. Talked about parlaying Ty, or was it? Man, now I don't remember who it was, Rod. It was either Phil or maybe it was Mike Bachman. It might have been Mike Bachman on the Xfinity Series show. They're all running together. Now that I thought it, I think it was Mike Bachman. But talked about parlaying Ty Gibbs to win Saturday and Sunday. Xfinity lines are currently down because they just qualified. But I will drop that number in the Discord later because I'm placing that bet for sure.
Wow. I mean, look, and we've talked
Great
about
idea. Can you imagine that's how his first win comes is sweeping the weekend in Xfinity and trucks or Xfinity and Cup. Love it.
That's a great coming out party right there. That's what a debutante wants when she walks down the steps and says, I'm here. I'm part of the society now. And Ty Gibbs will probably be doing the same thing. All right. So my pick for this is Alex Bowman. Guy we haven't talked about. Did we talk about him in the betting episode? I don't think we did.
We did, I believe. Because he's the one that I raised to the document and put in.
That's right.
Him and Mi Amigo.
That is right. So Bowman
is really fucking good here.
Yeah, $7,700 for Alex Bowman. I don't know. I don't know what you can say. The guy's had 3 top 10 finishes, 2 top 3 finishes in his career on this track, an 8th, a 2nd, and a 3rd. I mean, for $7,700, a guy that's going to get you a top 5 finish. I mean, he started 12th in 2021, got you an 8th place, started 5th, got you a 2nd place, started 6th, got you a 3rd place. I mean, he's gaining 3 or 4 positions every single time, which is, again, not monstrous points, but that finishing position alone, 3rd place, pays for $7,700. How can you not have Alex Bowman in your lineup at least once or twice? Or, if you could put all 6 spots with Alex Bowman, you probably could do that too and get away with it. But I mean, I'm just saying it's ridiculous. Now, if you look at all the rest of his road course history, you're going to go, but for whatever reason here at COTA, he's got it figured out. So I know that the 48's been pretty much all but a ghost this season, and I know that you're going to go, but we haven't even seen him race anything worth racing, but he does have 2 top 5 finishes this season already. If you didn't already know, a second place at Daytona and a 4th place last week at Bristol. So, I mean, outside of that, it's 27, 18, 20, but
doesn't seem like that.
No, that's what I'm saying. And that's why you got to jump. That's why I get choked up.
Rod's getting choked up. He's so excited. And I completely, totally agree with you. Love Alex Bowman. Actually, I've got more thoughts on him here in a second.
Perfect. So we'll save that. All right. Well, that is the Cup, and that's the DFS side of this. So let me kind of wrap that up, I suppose. A little different this time. For trucks, Cody gave you the Ben Rhodes chalk pick, which again, it's going to be a chalk pick, but sometimes you got to eat it. And Eka says his official play at $10,000. I gave you Tyler Ankrum at 86 for the truck race. In the Xfinity race, Cody gave you Alex Labay at 6,500. I gave you Riley Herbst at 8,000. And then Cody gave you Ty Gibbs for the Cup race at 87. And I said Alex Bowman at 77 would be a fantastic play for your Cup DFS lineups. Cody, let's move on to Underdog, where you pick better or worse than the projected finishing position. And hey, listen, we've done pretty good on Underdog so far this season. We've missed a couple, but we've hit far more than we haven't. So I love Underdog right now. They're giving us all some free money.
Yeah, exactly. And again, if you're already an Underdog customer, make sure you're going to check, see if they're offering you that reload bonus. And if you're not already on Underdog, promo code RACESGPN, get on there, get that 100% deposit bonus up to $100. You will not regret it. I can promise you that. JDK late to the party. It's okay. 37 minutes into the show. The only thing we've talked about so far is SVG. So just make sure you go back to the beginning and listen to that.
Yeah, no, and we did talk about the Zillage kid, and we are impressed. I mean, we talked about him on the betting episode too, that this is a guy you're going to want to keep your eye on. So apparently that was a good call.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the race goes. I'm not sold. Like DFS wise, I'm probably not playing him, Rod. To be completely honest with you,
not even know,
because he's going to be very popular being first, and I'm not sold on it. Again, to see if that actually pays off starting in first in any of these races, I think you're going to need the perfect race for it to really pay off. So I am fading him in the DFS side of things, but do the top 3 bet on him. So I hope he cashes in again. For all the people who had him 400 to 1 on the early price, that was a mistake. I hope he wins just for you guys, because that would be freaking awesome. So yeah. All right, Rod. Underdog. I'm just going to actually build off of what you just got done saying. I'm going to jump ahead to my Alex Bowman pick. 13.5 is his number over on Underdog. On a typical road course week, I might consider the worst then on this, Rod, but not at Coda, because Alex Bowman is really fucking good here. Alex Bowman, Ross Chastain, Tyler Reddick. Those 3 guys are 2 for 2, finishing inside the top 5 when it comes to the next-gen car at Coda. They've all 3 been inside the top 5 in all 3 races. He was 8th back in 2021, even if you want to toss that out there. 2nd and 3rd the last 2 seasons. And he had top 5 in the stage last year when there was no stage breaks. Like, he was running up there the whole time. And actually, Rod, not that bad at some of the other road courses too. 8th place at the Roval, 5th at Indy, 15th at Sonoma. And then, he had a 14th place at Watkins Glen the year before. Not horrible on road courses. Not usually one of the drivers that comes to mind for sure. But when it comes to Coda, he's good here. He's 3 for 3, finishing better than 13.5 at Coda. I think he keeps that up again this weekend. Again, I think he's going to be in contention to, top 5, maybe even win this thing. So I think better than 13.5 is a steal over on Underdog for Alex Bowman.
Yeah, and again, I just talked about him too, so I'm with you on that 110%. So, all right, I'm going to move my next one to Chase Purdy, because again, I got so like I said, I got in earlier when the Underdog stats were out for the truck and the Xfinity Series. So I kind of got in on numbers that I don't know that are going to be there right now. But I will say, even if this one stays the same, I'm definitely going to be taking it. It is Chase Purdy. His stat is set at 16.5. His finishing position is set at. I'm going to take the worst then on this one. And I know, Chase Purdy, we talk a little bit about how how good he was in that 4 truck, or how good he's been. But
I don't think I've ever talked about Chase Purdy being good, Rod, for the record.
Okay, good. Well, I'm glad, because I think
I'm fairly certain that those words have never crossed my lips.
Last season, I think we maybe said it once. I think maybe we did,
Okay,
and
maybe
I think
we did. Sorry.
Yeah, maybe we did. But now I tell you right now, at the Circuit of the Americas, no, thank you very much. Chase Purdy in his 3 races. Now, granted, he's been in 3 different trucks. He's been in the 23 truck for Gallagher. He's been in the 16 truck for Hattori. I'm sorry, the 61 truck for Hattori, and then the KBM. But then again,
those are 3 good rides, though. Like,
yeah,
all things considered, those are not shit boxes he was running in. So not bad rides at all.
Yeah. So in his 3 starts, 27th, 16th, 27th. So only once has he finished better than his finishing position there. This season, he's finished better than his projected lines, or his projected stats. 28th, 15th, 16th, 33rd. But 33rd at Bristol, that was horrible. 28th at Daytona, even 16th at Vegas. That still would have made this a winning stat, but I don't trust him. And now he's actually rolling off in 16th place. So good on Underdog for getting this projection almost dead on.
Yeah, which means that he'll probably open around a similar, maybe even get him a little bit of a lower number, a smaller number. I don't know how we're measuring these numbers, but maybe you'll get him at a different number than 16.5 because he did qualify there. So I like it.
Yeah. And again, I would take worse than anything, up to about 16, 17.
Oh, yeah, 16, 17. That's what I was thinking too, Rod.
Yeah. No, for sure. But yeah, if he comes back at 8, 8.5, 9, something like that, ooh, he definitely hammer that worse then.
Yeah, that would be a free square. But yeah, I love this at 16.5. And yeah, like you said, even if it drops a little bit farther back than that, I would take it as well.
Indeed. All right. Well, Cody, what do we got next?
Yes, I will continue with my cup picks since those were the options I had at the time. Mi amigo, of course, had him in the betting episode. Gonna take him here as well. I'm all better thans this week, Rod. Actually, yeah. Well,
wait, who are you and what have you done with Cody?
I know we switched roles. I'm going all better thans because like guys I really love this weekend and kind of being a little bit disrespected and not, and again, some guys that aren't necessarily good on a week-to-week basis that are specifically good at this track. Alex Bowman being the first case in point, Daniel Suarez being the next one. He's been fast both seasons here, but the results haven't been there. So that does hurt the case a little bit. But the fact that he's been fast and he's looked good, if he can just put it together, he should be able to finish better than 12.5 here. Go back to 2022, started on the pole, led the first 15 laps, looked really good, ends up with the power steering issue after he gets spun out of everything and sucks. You go back to last season, 11 laps to go. He was second place to Tyler Reddick. Then we end up with a big wreck. We end up with some overtime starts or whatever. And he ends up finishing 27th. The result not indicative of how he ran. He was running up in the top 5 basically a majority of the day. Again, he's got that win in the bank, so he doesn't have to go out there and play the stage racing game and all that bullshit. He can actually go for the win, go for a strong, solid finish here. And if you can get this one pre-qualifying this evening or tomorrow morning, I would take it because he started 5th and 2nd in the 2 seasons here. So when he starts good, that number is likely going to drop and not be as good for you. And again, he's won it at Sonoma a couple of seasons ago, 3rd place at Indy in 2022, 5th at Watkins Glen in 2022. Got some really good road course races in the past, and he has been fast here at COTA in the past. I think he's going to carry that speed. He's got the momentum of having a win and starting the season on a good note in what is a contract year for him. We've seen his teammate obviously do really well here before, Ross Chastain, one of the 2 for 2 in the top 5 guys. So Trackhouse definitely has something figured out. That Zilich guy that's on the pole in the truck race, a Spire driver or a Trackhouse driver in a Spire truck, but Trackhouse driver for the record. SVG is a Trackhouse driver. So everything just points to Trackhouse this weekend, Rod.
It's amazing how quickly that road course program has jumped up a bunch.
Also, I hope you all took the over on the number of SVG mentions tonight because I'm just trying to say his name as much as I possibly SVG can.
I'm sure the Discord has turned it into a drinking game at this point, and everybody can't remember anything.
We don't endorse drinking on those words because there'll be a lot of drinking this evening.
I was going to say you guys would be passed out on the floor. You would have to take this in a couple of different segments because, I guarantee you wouldn't be able to make it through just the first 10 minutes of this show.
Yes.
All right, let's talk about a guy who I think his projection is set a little too low for my low as in low number.
See the problem I had a few minutes ago, Rod?
I know.
This is why I'm glad they changed the wording to better than and worse than, because the higher lower on this and talking about it moving up and down, nobody knows which direction is which.
No. So that's why for race fans, you just got to give us that simple thing. I love it. All right, Sammy Smith. Oh, my brother, drinking game. I'm way ahead of you. Yeah,
me too. I watched some of that Nebraska game. They just got their ass kicked. So
now you're gonna go drown your sorrows. All right. So
thanks for distracting me from watching the second half, Rod. I didn't want to have to see that.
Hey, you called the time on this one, buddy. So that's on you. You knew what you needed.
I did it on purpose. I knew what the score was going to be at halftime.
You're like, I
was like, I don't need to be in front of the TV for this one. Let's get the work out of the way.
I love it. All right. Well, I'm going to go with Sammy Smith. Sammy Smith, his projection is at 11.5. His finishing projection at 11.5. I'm taking better than on this one. And honestly, look, if you look at it, I know there's only one race, but he's the fifth. He's got the fifth best average finish on this racetrack. Why? Well, because he's only been on it once and he got a fourth place finish. So for me, I love Sammy Smith. I love his potential. Like I said, he got a fourth place finish in the last time he was on this track, which is much better than 11.5. And he even started second on that one to boot. They're kind of sleeping on him a little bit. Now, granted, his road racing background is not the best. Road America, he's got finishes of 31st and 24th. And then if you look at Watkins Glen, finishes of 18th, but he does have a third place finish in that as well. So that's a good one. And then at the Charlotte Roval, 11th place finish, which is by my counts better than 11.5. Portland, he finished 30th. But granted, remember, he's only run a lot of these tracks once in his career because the dude's like 13 years old and he finally was able to go and accidentally buy beer for the first time in his life. So, but he does actually have a ninth place finish at Sonoma as well. So another top 10 finish there. He's fully capable of being a top 10 car at these road course races. So I don't know. 11.5 just seems low to me. And I'm definitely going to swoop up on this guy because like I said, I really do believe that he's got a good top 10 finish. And he's starting 13th. So all he's got to do is move up 2 spots and hold his position if you want to make this a winning projection. So, I mean, to me, like I said, Sammy Smith, 11.5, hammer the better then.
Yeah, it's definitely the riskier play, I think, on your card here. Actually, your Cup Series one might be the riskier play, which is going to be interesting discussion when we get there. But Sammy Smith is extremely talented. I was so big on him last year in the JGR car, and he just continued to let us down. But like so many times where you saw the potential and you saw what he could do, and then has a problem, or this happens or that happens, and kind of couldn't stay out of his own way. Pretty quiet so far starting the season over at JRM, but got the potential to do it. He's finished well here before, so he's definitely a guy that I like. I think it's a little bit risky, but he's honestly, I'd be kind of interested to see what his number is when they reopen the lines. I'm not seeing anything posted yet, but it's a loaded field. I probably wouldn't bet on him, but a little bit of an underdog sleepy pick to an underdog pick. Get it, Rod? To maybe even like be in competition to win this race. I don't want to go as far as to say he could win it, but he is definitely a sneaky play, so I do like it.
Yeah, again, and is my JRM love shining through? I'm sorry,
just a little bit, but that's okay.
I couldn't leave him completely out, so I had to go back to it.
Well, Rod, you know how much I love the JGR boys, so I'm going to go to the Cup Series and take a former JGR boy, Kyle fucking Busch. Rod, running the car lift on Kyle Busch this week. Absolutely in love with him. I know some people are a little bit scared this week on Kyle Busch. Not me. 11.5, Rod. Better than absolute hammer on this one. I love it. Going back to Ryan over at iFantasy Racing. 2023, second place for Kyle Busch. His total speed ranking was 6th that day. 6th in driver rating. 6th best average running position at 11.1. 2022, he finished 28th. But on the last lap, he was running in 5th place. He got spun out again. That was the race where AJ Allmendinger got spun out from the lead. Kind of a mess there at the end. Speed rankings the 7th and 6th over the last 2 segments. So 2 for 2 and having a very fast car here, and 2 for 2 being in the top 5 on the very last lap. So you got to love that. You go back to 2021 again, not really looking too much into that race, but he did win a stage, had a 6.8 average running position, and looked well there. And then if you go back and also hear from Ryan over at iFantasy Racing, you take out the Indy Road Course where he was running top 5 before a wreck, ends up finishing dead last. But he had a 5.2 average finish on the rest of the road courses last season. Kyle Busch, kind of a little bit of a sleepy play on the road courses. I gave him out everything in the Cup Series pick show earlier this week, right? There's value for his top 10, for his top 5, for his top 3 to win the race. I took all of it because he just shows up and he's good and fast at these tracks. And, we saw it with Tyler Reddick 2 seasons ago. You got to remember, Rod, 2 seasons ago, 2022, Tyler Reddick won 3 road course races in that 8 car. That translated a lot for Kyle Busch last season. He had a horrible 2022 on road courses when Toyota was struggling big time, couldn't figure things out. You put him in that 8 car, and they've got something figured out because he's shown up. He's been competitive. I know he doesn't have a win here lately in him, but he's been consistently good this year, taking that Indy debacle out of it. And yet his number is set at 11.5. Are we not? I know it's been a little bit of a disappointing start to the season, right? He was part of that 3-wide finish. Other than that, it's been rough, but love what he's done on road courses here lately in this next-gen car and specifically in this 8 car. And I think he's going to continue and keep that up. So 11.5, love him. Keith checking in, by the way, says Bowman week. Rod gave him out for DFS pick. I gave him out for an underdog pick, and we gave him out on the betting episode earlier this week as well. All over Alex Bowman. We absolutely love him this week.
Yeah, again, it's one of those things where you just got to hammer him for sure. All right. So yeah, this one's going to take a little bit of imagination for you. I was going to take the worst then on this one because for Ryan Blaney, it's set at 17.5. It's a trap. I know, I get it. I'm going to fall into it though. And only because in 2 of the 3 races that he's been on this track, he's actually finished better than this position, right? He finished 17th. Hey, listen, it's 17.5, 17th still gets this across the line. So say what you will. He started 9th, finished 17th in that race in 2021. He started on the pole in 2022 and finished 6th in that race. And then the only one that he didn't was last season when he actually finished 21st in that race. So, and if you look at these late runs, right? iFantasy race, the guys are over there. Ryan's got a great set over there. In 2021, Ryan Blaney was 16th in total speed there in the fastest drivers late in a run. That's better than 16, or that's better than the 17.5, right? He means he was the 16th and a half fastest car on the track in 2021. And we know that he finished in 17th. So that was good for him there as well. A couple of rough seasons after that, but look, I know that it's not fun to take Ryan Blaney in a lot of places, but I will say that his average finishes on a road course comes out to 14.3 on road courses over since February of 2021, right? So that means that he's finishing better than 17th and a half on average. What does that mean? Well, 12th at the Roval, 9th at Watkins Glen, 13th at the road course in Indy, 31st at Sonoma, 21st Dakota. Remember, this is a very bad stretch. This does not support my argument. But this 5 race stretch in here was rough.
It
was very rough. 26th at the Roval in 2022, 24th at Watkins Glen, 26th at the Indy Road Course. But before that, there's a glimmer of hope. 11th at Road America, 6th at Sonoma, 6th Dakota, 9th at the Roval, 2nd at the Indy Road Course, 14th at Watkins Glen, 20th at Road America, again in a little outlier, but a 10th at Sonoma, 17th Dakota, 15th at the Road Course, 5th at the Roval. That's a very long stretch, longer than the 5 races that he sucked. He's been better up until 5 races in that stretch. So Ryan Blaney, 17.5. I know it's tough. But we've seen this champ. What was he leading the points, right? So at one point
back a little bit now, but
yeah, he was.
He was leading it 2 weeks ago. I mean, initially looking at this, I was like 17.5. I'd take the worst then, honestly. But you kind of look at it, and yeah, he had that 5 race stretch. Kind of, the first couple of next gen races, he was pretty decent, and then he just fell off and was bad at the end of 22, bad at the start of 23. But then the last 3 road courses at the end of the season, he kind of figured it out. So I don't know. Ford in general, just tough at the road courses to figure out what they don't have. They've got the longest streak of not having one. I think they're at 13 road course races since the last time a Ford won. Their field is weaker, so it's hard to judge them. But 17.5 for the defending champion, for a guy that's, his last 3 road course races, he's finished better than this. So, you actually kind of made me believe a little bit, at least, Rod. I don't know if I'm ballsy enough to play it, but you gave me a glimmer of seeing why this could potentially hit.
If I've done one thing right in life, it's to get Cody swayed on the Ryan Blaney train. Maybe not enough to take it, but at least I made a compelling argument on the situation. So, all right. Well, those were our underdog selections, our underdog plays. I'll go over them one more time for you, just in case you forgot. Cody started you off with Daniel Suarez, better than a 12.5 place finishing position. I said that Chase Purdy would finish worse than 16.5. Cody gave you Kyle Busch to finish better than 11.5. I said Sammy Smith would finish better than 11.5 in the Xfinity race. Cody said that Alex Bowman would finish better than 13.5, and I said that Ryan Blaney would finish better than 17.5. Go get on that right now. I'm telling you right now. So what, Steven? Rod? What, Steven? What? What did I do? What did I do? I get one worded. Rod.
Rod. It's like your father. Rod.
Glimmered Cody like True Blood. That's funny. I glimmered Cody like True Blood. That's hilarious. Well, hey, listen, if I had that kind of power, do you think I'd be using it to convince Cody of stuff? No, thank you.
Yeah. I mean,
I'd be convincing the folks at the bank.
I know there's a few people in the Discord, if they had that power, Rod, they'd be convincing me on FCG, but we'll have that conversation on the look. We've been talking about it all week, right? Nobody's been mentioned more than SVG. Tune back in on either Sunday night, Monday. I don't know what we're doing yet as far as the recap show goes. Whichever way it goes, we're going to talk about it. We're going to address it. I'll either have a public apology or I'll laugh in all of your faces. Either way, it'll be fun.
I almost feel like we have to do it on Sunday because we have
because we need the instant reaction.
Because we need.
Well, it depends how good he does, right? If he wins, I don't know if I'll probably be busy.
Hey, Cody, you want to do a live one today on the race? Right, oh, sorry. I got my back.
I got to recover. I'll have to type up my SVG apology if he wins, so might take till Monday.
I love it. All right. Well, we've reached the end of the week, everybody, and we want to thank you guys for hanging with us all week long. We've had a blast. I got to tell you, it just gets more and more fun every single day that we do this now that we're live on the chat where we have everybody kind of interacting with us. And if you haven't been in the Discord lately, that thing, I swear to God, I missed 10 minutes and I'm gone. Like, I got it.
Oh, man. Yeah. It's been blowing up. We love it. IndyCar, I just wanted to touch on real quick.
Oh, yeah.
We've got the exhibition race this week. I don't really know. The format's weird. I don't know if we're actually going to see odds. IndyCar themselves posted odds, but they're not posted on any books anywhere. So
are they cut bets, Cody? They must be cut bets.
Yeah, I don't know if we need to get some up on cut or something, but hit us up in the Discord. If you see some somewhere, I will give out picks in the Discord. Maybe might come back and make some YouTube shorts or something with IndyCar picks if we get something out there this week. It's a busy week. We had a lot of races to talk about, a lot of other stuff. And, man, we want to talk more about IndyCar, but fucking help us out. Give us some goddamn odds. All right. Anyways, stay tuned for the IndyCar stuff, whether we get some or not. Who knows? But, we're going to be picking IndyCar the rest of the, in 3 months when they do their next race. And then the rest of the season after that.
Welcome to Feisty Friday, everybody. We've definitely served up.
I need to go have some beers. Fucking Huskers, Rod. God damn. We've never won a tournament game. And we haven't been there in 10 years. It'll probably be 10 before we go back. So whatever.
Listen, everybody, hit Cody up separately in the Venmo or in the Discord. I think we need to Venmo.
Hey, the Venmo's fine too. It's you can hit me up there if you want.
Hit him up on Venmo because I think we all need to buy him a drink or 6 or 7. So, all right. Well, then let's send you on your way to get that drink. And to all of you guys too, wherever you listen to this, whenever you listen to this, hopefully you've got a nice cold one in your hand and you're enjoying, unless you're driving. Then
no cold ones when you're driving.
No cold ones in your hand.
Hurry up and go follow me on X before I change my X username at Husker_Zeeb. You can find all my stuff over there. Look, I had that upsets article come out for the first round of the tournament. Rod plus 725 on Oakland to upset Kentucky. It was in the article. I've got another one coming out. I'm going to go work on it after this. So either later tonight or in the morning, it will be out for the second round the next 2 days. So we're going to try and repeat the magic, do it all over again. Make sure you're checking that out and all the other stuff we got going on there. Go back, check out all the shows from this week. F1 Gambling Podcast out there as well. Make sure you give that a listen. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell so you get notified when we go live. Thank you all for all your love. Fade SVG this weekend. Let's go make some money.
We just had to give you one more shot to get in. That's all there was to it. I'm on X at RJ Villagomez. Link in the bio, everything I got going on, whether it's here. Check out my stuff on Sportsbook Review. I've got actually a NASCAR one coming out next week. Not this week, but next week. And I'm doing more WrestleMania. So check that out on, I think, Tuesday or Wednesday as we get ready for the big event as well. And then, of course, check out the Back Road. Me, Seth, and Elliot sat down last night, had some fun talking Coda as well. And then, of course, check out Phil Tank Phil and Derek as they do their truck episodes too. We fully support all of them in the community as well. We'll be back to either eat every single word we said or to gloat about everything we said on the recap episode. So until then, everyone, let's go racing and let it ride.